4th podcast talking about the next single drop coming up November 7th. We have a song called Talk fitting for today's chat, live stream chat. So we got Johnny Sin and Brady here, and my name is Josh, of course. So thanks for joining us if you're tuning in live. If not, these are living on our YouTube channel, so you can watch them at your leisure. But yeah, we're here to celebrate. Like I said, Talk is coming out November 7th. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that pre-save. Helps us out a lot on Spotify. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Doing well.
Did you fellows dress up for Halloween this year?
I did. I was a turtle.
A turtle.
A turtle. Yep.
Did you
one of the many
like a ninja turtle?
Furry-like costumes that Natalie has in the supply.
Oh no!
I never have to try too hard. I just go down and I find whatever the one is that is fitting of the weather, and the turtle felt cozy and went with that. I got the job done.
What did the kids go as?
Charlie had a little meltdown and declined at the end, which I can relate to. I refused to dress up. I wore a hockey jersey every day to school anyway, and so I just wore a hockey jersey when I trick-or-treated and claimed to be a hockey player.
Were you rocking some like athletic pants too, with some comfy pants?
Adidas
the
wind
buttons?
pants.
Snapaways.
No, wind pants and a hockey jersey every day. I had a rotating 3 jerseys that I wore.
Keeping it loose.
Yep. I think it would have fit in pretty well with today's fashion trends, I dare say.
Yeah, like just got out of bed vibes.
Yeah.
Low effort. Low effort, high comfort.
That was me all over.
We tend to touch on these fashion topics, so I'll just go a little further in and say I don't quite understand the socks with sandals thing that's happening. It bothers me. I don't know why. I can't explain why. I know Europeans tend to think that Americans do that and it's gross. I know that's a German thing. They don't understand. I don't get it either. Maybe it's the German side of my heritage. Brady,
That's been going on for a long time.
I know. It's
the socks and sandals. It's
disgusting.
Like a classic Berkeley thing. I think it's because of the weather.
Well, why don't you?
No. They do it year round.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it. I also didn't get why you would wear a sweater and shorts, but I kind of get that more now. You know.
Oh, I do that. I enjoy that.
It still looks a little funny. Like
it feels like opposite.
Yeah, you're cold on top, but you need a little extra air on the legs. What's going on?
It feels nice. It feels nice.
Yeah. You didn't dress up, Brady? Did you hand out any candy?
No, I was working. No, I had a gig at a resort, and Julie really wanted to have she wanted to go out and do a Halloween thing, but I was playing at this resort and nobody dressed up. So she was left at home. She had a friend over and painted a pumpkin.
Nice.
Cool.
Yep, very, very not very interesting on this side of the Mississippi.
I was Darth Vader. We did a Star Wars theme.
Nice.
Marley was Grogu, or looked like Yoda, and Lennon was Padme.
Okay.
Kimberly was a stormtrooper.
Cool.
I was Vader, and I had a pretty. Kim did a little shopping, out of season shopping, and got a pretty rad Vader costume for like $11. Let's see if
last year or something.
Yeah. You know, like when you buy it out of season. I'm not going to put the kids on here, but yeah. I guess here you can see my silhouette.
Hey,
good.
Pretty legit. Yeah, we had a good time. It was a little rainy here. Usually have inclement weather in Minnesota for Halloween, and this year was no different. But yeah. So we wanted to little chat today. We haven't talked for a while. Let's do a little round robin here. How we doing?
Ramen.
What else is new other than the Halloween holiday?
Nothing too much. I just moved into my new space.
Oh yeah.
It's still in progress. I gotta fix up this studio a bit. We still don't have any art up, so that's kind of like the next thing that we're doing here. Man, I've been crazy busy. I've been having for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, like 6 gigs a week, and then some studio stuff. So it's been really busy, and the weather here is just like perfect now. So it's excellent.
How about you, Johnny?
I'm really happy to hear that, Brady. I haven't
Yeah, me
chatted with
too.
you since you moved,
I haven't, I
so
haven't chatted with you either. I haven't.
good to know that you're alive. I got the one text message about an odd time signature, and then nothing more beyond that.
I called you and left you a message like a couple days ago.
My bad.
Missed it,
That checks
huh?
out.
Missed it.
Between the two of you, it's a miracle you can ever get a hold of each other.
We play phone tag for weeks at a
Months.
time. I too have been very busy, but not with gigging, with studio work and finishing up building my studio. And it's been crazy and wonderful and stressful and all the above.
Where's it at? Where's the studio at, man?
In Northeast,
No, 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 no. Where's the building progress at? Wow.
I wish I could give you an update. We were putting in flooring last week.
Okay.
Started putting up some panels on the wall, some acoustical panels, which is really cool.
What kind of flooring are you going with, John? We doing
LVP,
okay.
luxury vinyl planking.
I know a lot about LVP and
Yeah.
LVT.
Yeah. Uh, Natalie and I are really getting our hands dirty here at the end on account of budget.
That will
And
happen.
so,
What was
like,
the last thing like you guys had to do? Like you're talking about like you had to do it yourself?
yeah, well, that was flooring last week, and we're almost wrapped up there. And then on the weekends, we hop over there and put up panels and clouds and stuff like that. And Natalie is there setting up furniture and bed frames and stuff right now. And
Wow.
any moment we're not working, we're over there working. And it's very exciting, but a lot.
It'll never end. There'll always be something that needs to be done, especially now that you have two properties.
You know all about that.
I do. I do. Yeah. It's a lot of work. We're doing a little project here coming up. So we went with tile. So it's going to be very expensive. But yeah, but we explored the LVT, LVP options and little, different in our home living quarters. I think if we were building another space, we probably would have gone with the LVP. So I can't wait to see some pictures, man.
You can
So
even
wait.
come there.
Yeah, I
Well,
would
not
love
right now.
to.
I wouldn't recommend it. Getting in is like enough of a challenge. You have to walk up these wooden boards that are set up like a plank, and it's hard to even get in there.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think you have a party coming up, perhaps, and I'll be gigging that night. So, I'm not quite as busy with the gigs as Brady, but busy with other things. Been working on a lot of recording projects, and I've a couple of Coyote Christmas songs coming out. Most likely after Thanksgiving, because I don't think Christmas songs should really happen until after Thanksgiving.
Are
I like
they original or covers?
they're originals. They're
Nice.
like original songs with lyrics, and
Nice.
so
Cool.
there'll be two tunes and then two instrumentals of those tunes to go
Cool.
along with it. So yeah, I think it was a these are songs I made for something else, but then I kind of liked them, and I didn't want to give them away to a library quite yet. So yeah, we're going to be releasing those here pretty soon, and Been using Musaversal quite a bit. I was chatting with Brady about Musaversal. Shout out to those guys there. But most of them are great and really good experiences on there so far. So working with some percussionists from Brazil. And then, yeah, you can use cello players for your stuff or flautists. Or I did have a session with a keyboard player. I won't say his name, but he was a total jerk. We did not have a good time together. We had a 30-minute session that lasted for 10 minutes, and then we were done. And so it was time to go. It was time to go. But yeah, we can look forward to some of that on the Christmas songs here coming up.
So you have like a video conference with them while they do their
Yeah.
session, or how does that work?
You can. You don't have to be at the session.
Okay.
I've done some where I haven't shown up, and they turn out pretty good. But it's always nice to be there to help direct traffic, and it's kind of just fun to see them perform. Some of the artists are incredibly talented, so it's fun to collaborate with them. Unlike the keyboard player, most of them are more than willing to collab and take feedback and try things. Keyboard player, not so much. Probably need to get a little better at writing my charts out, but yeah, I would highly recommend it. Or if you guys want to try it, you can send me a tune. We can schedule.
They I looked it up and they have a wait list.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to know Lance Conrad, who
Yeah.
will also get on rope into this podcast one of these days coming up. You should.
LCP,
great.
LPC, Lance Pants Conrad.
Yeah, if you yeah, hit him up. He'll get you the link. You don't have to be on the wait list. But yeah, it's hard to get a session happening like tomorrow. You got to plan it out a little bit. Sometimes like 2 weeks or more out, depending on their availability. So yeah, but totally recommend it. And what else we got going on? I've been really interested in following. I don't know if you guys been following this interstellar object, this 3i Atlas. Have you been paying any attention to that?
Negative.
Okay.
Negative.
Well,
What's up?
That's my
You ever
topic
see it?
today. Yeah, well, the Step Rocket's got like the space.
Yeah.
We like space. So
What's
do
going
you
on?
remember Oumuamua in 2017? Did you ever hear about that?
The comet?
So it's not well, I guess it's an interstellar object. So instead of a comet would originate in our solar system or in the neighborhood of our solar system, and there's been 3 interstellar objects that we've tracked now since 2017. Oumuamua was the first one, Borisson in 2019. And then just last July, we discovered 3i Atlas. So the Atlas, I think it's telescope discovered it, the interstellar object. So it's coming from way outside of our neighborhood. And it's hyperbolic, so it doesn't get captured by the sun. Whereas other comets, I believe like Hale-Bopp, don't quote me on this, you'd have to fact check me on this, but I believe like Hale-Bopp and some of the other comets or asteroids that we see are actually within the orbit of the sun. So they're
Yeah,
actually,
they can predict them, right?
yeah, even though they have like really huge elliptical pathways, they still are, within the orbit of the sun. But these are coming from way outside of the solar system and then just coming through. So if you know the physicist Avi Loeb, he's been in the news a lot for talking about aliens. He did a recent study where they dredged the ocean floor looking for materials that did not come or did not originate in our solar system. Yeah, he's I depending on who you ask, he's a fairly credible. I think he was a Harvard guy. But anyway, he's been getting a lot of traction because we're talking about these interstellar objects and how odd they are compared to other asteroids and stuff. So what's unique about this is it came right through our solar system. I think as of October 29th, it had its perihelion, which is the closest approach to the sun. But the way that 3i Atlas has come through our solar system is incredibly unique, because right when it came as close to the sun, we couldn't observe it because it was on the other side of the sun from our planet. So we're blinded by the light. But the trajectory is interesting because it's passed by Mars, and I think it's only like 1.5 or 1.6 astronomical units away from our planet. So think about like the distance between Earth and Mars. So relatively close, like not a danger. Feel free to stop me at any point here.
Oh, just keep. I'm digging this. This
No, no,
sounds like that book you
yeah,
recommended,
and
the
that's what
Rama book.
the Rendezvous with Rama, the Arthur C. Clarke
Yeah,
book.
yeah,
Yeah,
that book.
yeah. Well, it is like that, but this thing is huge. It's the size of Manhattan. But it's interesting because if it were to be an artificial object coming from outside of our solar system, this is probably a path that it would want to take because it's going right by, Mars, which could be potentially habitable with the right technology, and it's also going by Jupiter and those moons as well. There's some, moons with water.
Why wouldn't it come closer to Earth? Because Earth is habitable.
Well, we could speculate that, maybe it decided that it wasn't worth its time, or we have a highly violent primate species on this planet that is prone to, nuclear war. So it might just pass us up, or it might have observed us, in a way where we couldn't see that it was observing us, that, hence being on the other side of the planet or the sun.
Shapeshifters.
Or yeah, sure. So it's just kind of interesting. Oumuamua had a similar trajectory where it kind of flew by, but then it seemed to accelerate out of the solar system in a unique way that wasn't necessarily in line with like gravity of the sun affecting its trajectory. So speculation was that it might have turned on some thrusters or something like that. So
That's
all
awesome.
speculative. It's fun to speculate though, right?
What
Like,
would be your favorite thing to happen with that in the next 2 months? What would be like yes for Josh?
that's a good question. I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like my life and how things are going at the moment. So I don't really want a whole lot of change. I don't want, I don't think I want a mothership docking outside of the White House or something and causing a bunch of chaos necessarily. But I mean, on the other hand, there's a lot of issues going on in the world that it would be kind of cool to see the human race band together and maybe think a little bit more unified in a unified way instead of constantly warring and fighting. So, yeah,
Do you lean towards aliens being like peaceful, or do you lean towards aliens being more like obstructive?
yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I think there'd probably be both, right? Like if the universe is as full of life as um, according to certain equations could possibly be, there would probably be a variety, right? I mean, if you look at biology on Earth, though, if you're gonna use that as a model and extrapolate that out into the universe, I'd say chances are likely it has some violent tendencies or some kind of consuming tendency, right? Like, but then there's always that like analogy to anthill. Like if you step on a bug and you don't even know that you did it, or if you kill a spider in your bathroom, for example, you don't really feel bad. Whereas if you were like maybe deer hunting, if you're like a hunter and you were to shoot a deer, you might feel something more than if you killed an ant or something, a spider in your house, for example. So if they were that much more advanced than us, then it could be that kind of a relationship where they didn't really consider us as anything worth of the thought, right? So, I mean, if you're going on biology, every life feeds on life, right? So it would have to most likely consume something to sustain itself if it's going to fit the model of biology that we understand. So I'd probably lean towards violent, but
Okay.
maybe a calculated violence, right? Because like you probably wouldn't live that long if you were just randomly, chaotically violent and just kind of destructive, right? You'd have to be a little more strategic.
I love it. I love it.
I've been reading a lot of fantasy sci-fi lately, so caught me on a good day.
Yeah, huh? That's great. I love that. I
John,
think. Oh, yeah, John. What do you
what
think?
what have you been yeah, what do you think, John? What have
Do
you
you
been
think
reading?
aliens?
Rather talk about what I've been reading. That was a lot to take in right there.
I'm always surprised how much people don't know about this stuff. So I'm glad I could be the messenger.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're continuing to think outside the box. I find it much harder to do that, being swept up just in daily life.
It's called escapism, John. It
Yeah,
helps me
which,
cope.
I think I do in the lighter forms, also related to reading, like the pulpy crap that I read just to, give me a brief checkout.
You like the lighter stuff. For me, it's like the heavier the better because I can if I can like ultra focus on one thing like a laser, then I can just then everything else goes quiet.
That makes
You
sense.
you must have done very well in school with that kind of.
Not at all. I mean, I was a B, C student. I got an occasional A, an occasional D.
Yeah, I read to generally fall asleep and or to like totally chill, and so therefore I end up reading a lot of very light crime caper pulp.
What time period is the latest book you're reading set in, John?
1920.
Is
It's a
that the
it's a Hercule Poirot remake. Somebody has, Agatha Christie died long ago, and somebody has taken on the helm of continuing her great detective, but from that time period,
is that
which
the time period you tend to enjoy reading or like kind of being into kind of that film noir 20s, 30s flapper, if you will?
no, actually, I think I prefer modern, but I'm not too picky as long as it's got a good murder mystery plot twist to it. I'm good to go. A little psychological thriller component.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you been reading, Brady?
I just am finishing up Joseph Campbell's Primitive Mythology.
A little
Um,
light reading.
that one's actually pretty heavy. And then between you and I met this woman at a gig, and she had some cool tattooing, and I was like, "Is that elvish that you have tattooed all over your arm?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then she said, so we started talking about Lord of the Rings, and then she told me that I had already been thinking about rereading it. And she told me that the winter, going into the winter, is the best time to read Lord of the Rings because that's when all of the books were released. And then they kind of start their journey, and they go through the winter. So I started rereading.
Yeah, I was gonna say when they get to Rivendell, that's like the fall, and then it goes into the winter as they head south towards
Yeah,
Mordor. So yeah, it's good. This is a good time of year.
yeah.
I'm in the
But
Silmarillion right now, and boy, that's a tough read.
yeah, everybody says that it's a little thick.
I
That
believe
one.
we listened to that on audiobook in the band van.
I'm sure Tony
I
dialed
don't
that up.
I don't remember that at
I
all.
don't either. No, not even a little bit.
You wouldn't, would you?
Just faded right
Whatever,
into.
Mister laying down in the back seat.
Kind of one you can doze off to.
That's for sure. I find myself backtracking and rereading pages because I'll just glaze over and
Yeah, I,
um,
I don't need to be reading that kind of stuff right now.
my so Brady, if you do choose to go into Middle Earth, um, little unsolicited advice. I was like this time when I read it, I was like, I really want to
The
like
reread?
yeah. I was like, I really want to like I really want to like understand I don't want to glaze over anything. So like I got through the three books in a pretty short order, but where I really got sidetracked is at the very end in the appendix.
Oh,
If you really want to geek out, like if you're really like a Tolkien nerd, you would probably read the whole appendix and like really internalize
Because
it.
he goes into the histories and stuff like
Well, that
that.
part's easy. Where it lost me was the pronunciations of the word. So
Ooh,
Tolkien was like, from what I understand, Tolkien was like a super into linguistics.
yeah, yeah,
And
yep.
so like I think he like I'm totally wrong here, but I think he based the book off of the linguistics. I think he may have started with
Yeah,
some
wasn't he a
linguistics.
professor of linguistics?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I got a little bogged down.
Ugh.
um, yeah, I mean, you can go into the history. That's kind of fun, but when you're talking about how you pronounce the udlau over the e and the, and the a, and there's like literally, 30 pages of, I just can't retain that.
No, I'm not into that. I have a hard enough time with the English pronunciations. Field, that one's tough.
Yeah, it'd probably be good to read on Kindle. I know John's a Kindle guy because you could like press on it and can you get like the,
Yeah.
the the pronunciation of it?
I have a very old Kindle. I don't know if I have that option on mine.
Okay, that would come in real
Nor have I
handy.
ever tried to do that.
That would come.
Field.
I
Um,
before E,
yeah, yeah,
except after C.
yeah. We get it.
Ambulance.
Or as an A, like neighbor and way.
That's tough. Yeah, see, it gets hard real quick.
I would also oh, Chat GPT is really great for reading Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I bet that is good.
Because if you
Yeah.
glaze for a little bit and then you're like, who's this guy? I don't remember this
I
name.
was on a little I get some Lord of the Ring memes, and one of the funny meme that was going around was in regards to the songs. Do you read all the lyrics in the songs?
Yeah, the first time I read that was one of my commitments to myself. Was like I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
was
it.
it?
I was like I'm gonna because I would skim the songs. I got a little bored with the first time I read it 10 years
Hmm.
ago. I was like, no, because I think the songs probably have quite a bit of lore in them. I think it kind of
Yeah,
connects some dots if you're really paying attention. If you don't just
yeah,
glaze over them. Songs are great. Yeah,
yeah.
all about the songs. And all about the preface and the appendix too. But Cimmerillion's a little tough. But I got the Witcher series here. I'm looking forward to finishing the Cimmerillion and moving on to a
Now,
little
did you read The Lord of the Rings or did you listen to it?
No, I read it. I read the book.
You
I,
did. Okay, yeah.
I like listening to some books. I think I don't think listening to a book should be counted as reading a book. Some people
No,
say
it's two
I
different
read
mediums.
right. Yeah, some people say like I read 50 books this year. It's like did you read did you really read 50 books or did you listen to
Right.
30 and then read 20?
Yeah.
John, you want to weigh in on this? Is listening reading?
Well, I mean, I'm not prepared to answer that one as much as I record people doing their audiobooks. I've done quite a few. And everybody who comes in is like, I'm hitting a different audience. And I know all these people who only listen to books, they don't read, which totally checks out. A lot of people have jobs where they can have an AirPod in and like consume it
Oh
that way
yeah.
while they're working or cleaning their house or what have you. And therefore, I see a great value in the audiobook. And
Absolutely.
so you can really, just break it down to consuming the book. And I agree, reading and listening are indeed different things. But
Yes.
either way, you're like, hopefully taking in the book in a way where you're understanding it and digesting it.
Absolutely. Not to knock audiobooks at all. I love audiobooks. Like I to kind of answer your question, Brady, I think there's like books I would never have consumed if it weren't for audiobooks.
For sure.
Like like the book I read this summer on Rasputin, which was a 35-hour a 35-hour audiobook
Wow.
of the entire life of Rasputin. It was a little repetitive,
I don't know who Rasputin is.
Rasputin.
What?
Rasputin.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Rasputin.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rasputin was a mystic, a Christian mystic and philanderer and a controversial character during was it the Romanovs, John? Uh, yeah.
He was a commie, right?
No,
No.
this was during communism was starting to rear its head up. He was loyal to the monarchy. Um,
Mm.
and he God, now I wasn't prepared to talk about this, but he basically, Brady, he was a there were these sects of Christianity in Russia at
No
this
sex in
time.
Christianity. No, I'm just messing.
Sects
Oh,
in
okay.
Siberia. So if you think about like Orthodox Christian Russia around the turn of the century, it was
Yeah.
like crazy. Like there were a ton of like, it was around the time spiritualism was really big. Like people were into tarot cards, people are into like divining, spirits from the other side and having seances. Like this was really popular in the
Yeah.
zeitgeist at the time, and it
Sure.
was also in Russia. So you had all these like sects of Russian Christian Orthodox people that were like getting a little far out, right? Like because they were probably pretty remote, some of them, and news didn't travel quite as fast. But Rasputin gained a ton of popularity, and then like went on to like have many like sexual partners, many women, did a lot of questionable like things, but they would do it under the guise of like this is holy, and so
Mm.
he somehow captured the monarchy, their attention, and like they like basically loved him. And did I freeze up?
You did.
I shoot. Can't
Rasputin.
John, take it from here.
Well, I'd love to. When I hear Rasputin, I just think about the great burrito restaurant in Duluth, Burrito
Oh,
Union,
yeah, yeah.
and one
We've
of
been
their
there.
burritos is called the Dirty Rasputin. And the whole like theme to the restaurant, as I recall, but that's been quite a long time, is something along the lines of communism or
Communist Russia.
socialism. But either way,
Yeah.
that's why when I hear that name, I just think about a big old burrito.
That is fascinating.
That's a nice way to put a bow on that part of the conversation.
I'd like to be remembered in the form of a witty burrito name when I'm long gone.
What would they call John's? What would they call your burrito, John?
Taco John.
Taken.
Be
I don't
called
know.
the sleeper.
Called the what?
The sleeper. You'd have John's burrito, and then you want to take a nap. It's so full of
I don't know if I would
sustenance.
encourage people to buy it.
I don't know if my video's coming back on and I'm the host, so I don't think I can leave and come back on without kicking you guys off too. So I'll just
Well,
stay in the shadows.
Stay in the shadows.
yeah.
Well, should we wrap it up since I can't get back on here? You want to talk about talk a little bit, or tell everybody
Yeah.
what our experience with that, and then we can put a bow on this.
Yeah, talk was another one of the seeds of the track was from that writing session that Josh and I did a long time ago, where we both wrote names of songs that we would think would be cool names, and then we put them in a hat, and then we each picked a name, and then we put a time on it, and then we both went in separate rooms for like a half hour or something, and then produced a track, and then we would switch rooms and go sing on each other's track. And then we did like, I don't know, like 12 or 15 songs like that. And then talk was one of them. And I think this was one that Josh started the music part, and then I sung on, and then it just kind of went back and forth on that. And what I really liked about the tune was it ended up having this cool mix of, like, we tend to have that reggae influence in our tunes, kind of that, world vibe. And then it also, I thought, because it had that lap steel guitar, it had this kind of cool George Harrison vibe that was kind of sneaking into it here and there. So yeah, I think it ended up being a really cool track.
I
John, what
agree.
do you remember?
Well, this one I tracked drums for fairly recently, which I can't say has been true with everything that we've put out, and so I can remember the session. Nary a year ago, Josh came and clicked record on my computer. He is back.
You're back,
Uh,
Mink.
I really enjoyed drumming on this one. It's the halftime shuffle, which is a rite of passage for any drummer, and so it was a fun groove to play. And then I overdubbed rototoms and bongos and all kinds of fun stuff that I don't really know if I've overdubbed on any Step Rockets track before. And
Toppers.
it was a fun one to play on, and it's a lovely tune. 2 thumbs up over here.
Didn't you say it was like a Alanis Morissette groove?
I think you did to me.
No, that was you.
Uh,
That was all you, bud.
I don't.
It's kind of got that 90s. What's the halftime shuffle?
Yeah, I mean the halftime shuffle is like 70s. Bernard Pretty Purdy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
Okay.
Purdy shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, but every drummer aspires to put a halftime shuffle on one of their recordings at some point. Now I can check that one off.
I think it was the kind of hip hoppy loop, like filtered loop, that made it sound.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
shaker that made it sound
The
like
the
slightly
90s top
90s.
loop.
Yeah. I also think it was cool how we had slide guitar in this track, and then Brady put some slide, some lap steel, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a weird echo, so I'm talking weird.
We're getting that too
Are you?
a little bit.
Okay. Brady?
Double slide. Double slide. I loved it. 2 slides. There's 2 guitar players in the band, which means double bass, double slide. I was going to ask you, John, what in recording, because everybody here does a lot of recording, obviously, what, when you're putting parts down, what type of drum part or instrument makes you feel the youngest? Like when you were a kid playing?
I don't think I understand your question, Brady.
like like when you're playing rototoms, do you feel like you're a kid playing in there, or do you feel like is there a type of part or anything that just makes you feel really young and excited?
I mean, definitely a percussion overdubs make you feel a little younger because like it takes me back to the old jamming with friends and like whatever was lying around, you'd hop on it and kind of
Okay.
riff on it type of thing. But I don't feel very young at all anymore to touch on a very sensitive subject.
You know what makes me feel young is I was listening to the Linus and Lucy, or was it Vince Giraldi?
Geraldia.
Giraldia. Thank you. I
You're
knew I
welcome.
was going to get that wrong. I'm glad you got it. Was listening to Vince Giraldia today with Lennon because she's been in piano lessons. So we were watching Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin Patch, whatever the hell that's called. Yeah, so she was digging that, the Peanuts theme. But boy, does that have some nostalgic vibes to it. Just that it makes me just think of like every Christmas I've ever had, as a kid growing up.
You should check out the Vince Guaraldi and Bola Satay album. Vince and Bola. It's very good.
Okay, is it a little more bossa kind of?
Very. Yep.
Okay, because I'm a big fan of the Carlos Jobim stuff. I think it's
Yep.
similar
Juan
lines.
Carlos.
Juan Carlos Jobim, very
I
nice.
love that stuff.
Which, fun fact, we based our single album design covers off of for the Sparks album. Those postmodern designs were really cool that he had on his records. Got a couple of the vinyls.
Super cool. I love that. I took a Brazilian guitar lesson once, and from this guy, and I was like, yeah, I just really want to play, be able to play some, bossa gigs and stuff.
Pavel?
Pavel, yeah.
I just gave him a gig. I just got him a gig. Yeah.
I went over there and I told him that, and he was like, "Well, you just got to listen to the records." And then we basically shut the lesson down early. He
He
wouldn't
didn't
show me
want you
anything.
coming for his
He didn't
gigs.
want me stealing his gigs.
I got solicited to play like a French cafe gig, and I'm like, I can do it if you can't find anyone. And I started listening to like some like Django and stuff, and I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
I could probably eke out an hour of this, But then I was just like, call Pavel. I'm sure you do good. I know I had another friend that did some gypsy jazz, but it's very specific, right?
It is. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Joseph from Northeast, he has a Django band.
Joseph.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
JR.
JRD.
Yeah, JD. Something.
Yeah.
Spacing on his name right now.
I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't crossed paths with him. I don't get out much. Kind of like John.
Me too.
I don't get out either.
Brady, you're out almost every day of the week.
That doesn't count.
No, it does though when you have to go somewhere for a social engagement, and then you're like, but then you realize you've already been out 3 nights that week or 6 in your case, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I kind of just want to be home tonight.
Yeah, that's me.
I did go to a football game with Kimberly 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half
professional
ago.
football game?
Yeah, I went and saw the Vikings at the U.S. Bank Stadium. It was.
I've never been to a pro football game.
It was mucho dinero. I think it was $462 to sit from 3 rows from the top.
Whoa.
For 2 tickets plus $30 for parking. So there you go. And then we lost to the Eagles, which is a notoriously rotten fan base.
Okay.
Yeah, Philly's Karen. You remember seeing that meme? The woman who stole the baseball from the little child.
Oh, yeah.
It was right around the same time as that Coldplay fiasco.
Oh, that was so funny.
I believe we talked about that one on a previous recording.
Yeah. Philly's Karen was not there, but there were a lot of obnoxious Philadelphia Eagles fans at my game. But yeah. How about you, John? You got anything coming up? You're going out to see? Are you doing? I'm supposed to go see Dijon in December, but I don't know if I'll make it.
I actually went and saw the Minnesota Orchestra perform the soundtrack to Stardew Valley, the video/computer game,
I was gonna say that.
and it was wonderful.
Are you a gamer? Did you play that one?
I mean, it's pretty much the only game that Natalie and I have played over the last decade, and yeah, the soundtrack is really good. The guy who made the game also did the soundtrack. He did everything, and it's a phenomenal soundtrack. And then to watch the orchestra perform it, and most of the people in the orchestra probably have never heard of the game, and they probably got the chart like a day or two beforehand, and then they went in there and killed it. And
they're so good. They're so good.
The conductor is like a traveling conductor. And also kind of like a salesman. And so in between every song, he'd get up there and be like, now we're going to celebrate entering springtime in the valley, and like kind of go on a narrative and like
setting it up.
Yeah. But then like also a very competent conductor. And I'm like, how do you find a guy who can deliver talking about a video game? And apparently, so there is a niche for that somewhere.
It's like, look, hey, we're gonna make a lot of money on this, okay? So, gonna need you to play this game.
Other than that, I feel like I have another show or two coming up, but they might not be until next year.
That reminds me of a rabbit hole I went down last night on YouTube. I watched probably 20 minutes of flamenco guitars performing Simon's Quest. Soundtrack from the Nintendo game. Did you ever play Castlevania Simon's Quest?
I did not.
It had one of those soundtracks that stuck with you. And there were a lot of Japanese composers at the time composing for Nintendo, and there was all that MIDI stuff. But it's incredibly well written, arranged music. It's insane. like when you see it actually performed on an instrument instead of just MIDI bleeps and bloops on the Nintendo.
Totally.
I mean, we all know Mario, right? Like we could all like, dun, 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 dun. We remember all those songs. 'Cause I spent a lot of time playing those games growing up. But yeah, Brady, going to any shows? You're just going to be working for the rest of your life, or what?
No, I went to Los Angeles to go see Elbow. It was fantastic.
That's right.
At the Wiltern. That's right. They named their band. We did a little research, when we were in the car. They named their band Elbow because this famous author said that elbow was the most beautiful word in the English language. I don't know. They were fantastic.
I don't agree with that.
I think Stardew is. Yeah, that's an interesting take.
Field.
Ambulance.
All tough. That was beautiful. Just every time that I've seen just a fantastic. What's cool with that European band is I love seeing bands that are really popular somewhere, or at least the past two that I saw in LA was Paulo Nutini and then Elbow, and both of them have the ability to sell out just huge places all over Europe and have all these very talented group, very professional, and then they come to the United States and like the Wiltern, I don't know, it's like 2,000 people. So you see this just like really well crafted, almost arena band playing this small thing, and just how they approach it. And I was struck with this last time. I just really, really enjoy the power of music of, for individuals, or in this case, like they sometimes had, 6 or 7 people just creating this beautiful sound, no tracks, and just perfect. And then creating like how they're taking a medium that has no physical properties really, except the movement of sound waves, and making this and allowing them to travel the world and having this emotional connection. I just find it just fascinating and beautiful. So yeah, it was really nice.
Well said. Whenever I think about moving out of the city into the country, or fantasize about like owning a hobby farm or something outside the grid, I then come back to just going to the First Avenue and seeing a show. I saw Hazlitt. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Australian sad dad music at First Avenue about a month ago. It was same kind of thought, Brady. Like, just really grateful to be able to see a show with some humans playing music.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that even exists, especially that I was kind of thinking like, what is something that we do now that's normal, that we consider normal or whatever, that was normal, 200,000 years ago and will be normal 200,000 years in the future. And that, there's just a number of things. It's like looking at the stars, listening to somebody play music, it will always be like a human thing.
I know we have to wrap up, but I really quickly have to relate into that with a discussion I had with a client yesterday about hologram musicians.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Tupac at
Coachella
or whatever a decade ago? I don't know how long ago. But like, at what point will it be normal to go to a venue and they're all hologram people, if you can call them that, holograms that are performing either pre-recorded, like an album, or like something that's been recorded for them, like for that show, and that will become a thing. Will that become a thing?
100%.
Little food for thought.
It totally will, but I relate it to also like when it became a thing for those piano reels to play, and then you can still see that in airports sometimes. There's nobody playing the piano, and it's great, but we still have more of a connection if it was a human playing that same piece, even less sonically pleasing. If it's a human there, we will still have more of a connection and more of a want to see it.
But what about a hologram? that looks like a human.
Yeah, I still don't think, because there's still even like what we're talking about. Like if you go see, it's really nice to go see, and you have like a DJ or, a pre-recorded, you know, band, but you end up having more of a connection when it's real people doing things like, yeah.
I'd argue I'd rather see a band of people, of holograms, I should say, performing electronic music than a human DJ standing behind some ones and twos that you can't really see what they're doing. Turns out I'm very pro hologram, is what I'm learning from our thought exploration here.
If I can just be the tiebreaker, I think you're both right. I think it's just a preference that you're talking about now. I think there'll be a market for having that experience. Like if, for example, like it'd be really cool to go see Bob Marley or Kurt Cobain or Jimi Hendrix perform as a hologram if it gave you that experience of recreating a specific, and to your point, maybe it's a hybrid, right, Brady? So like maybe the band is actually playing, you know, Bob Marley's second album, Burnin' or
They're
whatever.
doing that in Europe, where they had a show that was the hologram of ABBA, but it was a real band, and it
Right.
was
So
just singers,
you're
yeah.
getting that emotional connection too. But I think that there's a large population of people that just don't care. And like, if you know what you're signing up for and you're buying a ticket to go see Tupac perform, you know what you're signing up for, and it's your choice to buy the ticket or not. But I think there'll be people that were like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not spending $462 to sit on the third row, from the top. But I
Well, they're
think what's gonna,
insane. Yeah.
Were the
yeah,
football players holograms too?
yeah, no, they were real.
Oh,
I think before that, well, that will happen. I think it's already happening, and I'm sure there's like people trying to get IPs and stuff, like the rights to license that stuff. But I think what's already happening is like the AI people, where you can have an overlay. There's already all these apps and things you can download for your computer where you could like do a complete overlay, like a deep fake. So I think we're just going to see over the next year or three, especially if 3 years from now, it's going to be ubiquitous. But like, you're not going to know if like this is actually me, or like you could be talking to a chatbot, or you could be seeing an influencer. This is already fake influencers all over Instagram and Facebook. So they'll make like, it girls or hot chicks or, sexy looking dudes that are like selling a product, or they're like an influencer, or they have and then you have a podcast, and they have a whole brand going on. So I think, yeah. And I was just actually on another podcast for the cybersecurity job that's creating software to detect that, because right now, and we'll just keep going down this because I think you'll find this interesting. There's a huge problem in the job market right now because people are using deep fakes for job interviews. And it's become especially nefarious because like the DPK or the People's Republic of China are using this to infiltrate tech companies and government jobs. And then on the lower end of like the risk scale, they're just outsourcing it, right? So they can make more money as they would have that same job in their country, or they might not get the job. They're using John to do the interview, and then Brady and Josh are doing all the work once they get the job, and
Sure.
outsourcing. But even more insidious is that they're like stealing IP. So they'll get into a company and then extract all the technology that they can, and then they're gone. So pretty wild times.
I would read a lighthearted crime caper about that kind of plot for sure.
Should get AI to write it for you and then throw it up on Amazon. Be ultra dystopian.
As long as I can record the audiobook of it.
That's why I think there will be this human, like backlash, kind of like a
Vinyl.
grunge thing, like in society, where there'll be a piece of a generation that will say all real,
It'll
and
be
then
like the
it'll
vinyl
balance out.
people, right? Like it'll be like, I think vinyl sounds better, and I'm gonna spend $30,000 on this vinyl cartridge because, you know what I mean? Like I think there'll always be a market for that, but I think it will become niche, right? Because like, I mean, if you all it takes is to turn on the television for 10 minutes to know the level of like entertainment that most people are happy to consume, right?
Sure.
Like, I mean, I can't watch network television unless it's like a sports game because it makes me feel dumber by the minute.
All those commercials, man.
That's me, but I mean, I'm not a
Yeah, I
TikTok
know
person either. Like, I can't handle it. I don't like it.
We're really dating ourselves right now. We better wrap it up before we lose our young audience here.
Embrace it, bro.
The hipster part of you can just be only listening to real humans. But what happens when you can't tell the difference, right?
Yeah, somebody just sent me an AI album that they were really enjoying, and I could still tell. You can still tell, at least right now.
I heard Interstate Love Song done in a Motown style, and it was banging.
What's it?
It was banging, and I could not tell. Like, dude,
Oh, wow.
the parts were awesome. And I also heard a version of Toxicity by System of a Down done like a Motown song. And these like the vocal fills these people are doing and stuff are just like, they're fire. And it's getting scary good.
I remember being at school, and one of our professors at McNally, he was saying that he was talking about Cher and how, Cher was using the auto tune so strongly and how it was, this influence. And he had like a really good thought. He says, like, what if you have a young singer and she or he loves singing like Cher, but doesn't use the auto tune and then comes up with this new kind of vocal, delivery that, they can do without the stuff. And you'd have this, this influence from the medium.
Sounds like Caroline Polachek.
Yeah.
My doorbell rang, and I have a dishwasher repair person at my door. And on that note,
Fun never
pleasure,
stops,
everyone.
for you, John. All right. That's very fitting. I think that's a good way
Perfect.
to end it. Check out Talk, coming out Friday, November 7th. Please like and pre-save the track. Give it a heart. Put it on your playlist. Thanks so much for listening to Step Rockets over all these years. We're working up to a new album, so keep joining us for the journey. Any final thoughts, Brady?
You have a choice. You might as well be happy about it.
Calmer than you are.